All right.
Brandon is actually the whitest person.
Whitest person. There we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. These MacBooks. I think I'm the only person in the world who would buy another MacBook just to have an extra MacBook, just a video.
You do that?
I would. Is that
I'm
too
thinking
much?
about getting the new one.
Is that crazy?
If I get the new one, I can dedicate this one to video.
Yeah, or just buy a video camera.
Ooh, but that doesn't connect to.
New one is delete. Big time.
Say it again.
Videos one.
Then the videos that you spend 45 minutes on, just delete. Yes. Good morning. Welcome. Believe it or not, I was counting as I was using the restroom. Believe it or not. How many times? This is 16th. Is that too much? This was the 6th. This is the 16th cycle of TLA. 16th next level. This summer, this one upcoming summer will be 22 summers. 21 years. Really interesting. And I want to start off by saying that, actually I should probably put the keynote up here. It's confusing which computers are which here. Here we go. Share screen.
First world problems.
That's right.
I don't know which Mac to use.
Wait, what did he say?
I don't know which Mac to use.
Which MacBook do I use, right? My goodness. Okay. There we go.
That has tasted Hachi blood.
Okay. Can we full screen this guy? No?
Hachi blood?
Okay.
Terrorist.
Yeah. Well, let's stop that, Dave. I'm getting hot and bothered because it doesn't can't talk about those things. Welcome to TLA, and you guys already know the story of this whole thing, but I think it's important to say that we're here on Labor Day, and I mean a lot of people aren't working on Labor Day. And also, I want to point out that a lot of people are. Just you guys know Heidi, my fiance. She's working today. She's got normal, real person doctor jobs, or hospital still runs on Labor Day, and people who make full-time income still work. So I just want to put that out there, and I think it's really good to always start. We'll start with appreciation. It's always good to start and recognize that we really are doing things that are different, and we really are putting a lot of work right now that's going to make a difference 8 months to a year from now. I saw this. Let me get this technology thing right. There we go. There we go. I saw this on Instagram. You guys know Ryan Blair? Anyone familiar with Ryan Blair? Anyone familiar with Body by Vi? No? So mega $1 million network marketing. He does a lot of health and holistic. Think Amway meets, what's the one that sponsors the soccer team? Herbalife. Think of another Herbalife that I don't know as to the scale of Herbalife, but this guy, you should read his story. His book is outstanding. He went from almost dead gangster kind of white trash upbringing, if you will, to super mega millionaire mogul. And you should read this article. It says, interns today make less than they did in 2010. As more internships are paid, compensation is inched up, but is less than in 2010 when adjusted for inflation. And the part that I want you to see, and this guy, his story is just so compelling, I don't want to get into it, but he said, I started as an intern at $4.25 per hour. I was at Cal Lutheran University. Looking back, I would have worked for free. The practical knowledge I obtained by working in a business while learning the foundational principles of business school has been priceless. That's why I love to write about the subjects they don't teach you in college. So, not that you do this for free, because there's definitely a big financial payout. I'm looking at Andrew right now. There's a big financial payout. I'm looking at all of our top offices. I'm looking at the withholdings. I'm looking at Luke's withholdings. I see Luke's paychecks every week. There's a big payout in excess of blank thousands of dollars. I don't know many 21-year-olds that have in excess of $23,000 on the side after 4 months. I don't know any, but we have them here. So just food for thought on the experience. And don't even get me started. I'm going to play a video later about the generation today. But looking forward. So everyone wants now and now and now. But see, Cutco's got a Vector's got a culture where we delay that immediate gratification, and it's still hard. It has become tougher and tougher now, year 16, to get people to want to work and see longer term. It is harder than ever to run TLA year after year because people want it sooner. People want the BMW faster. People want 6 figures in income faster. And people want it faster than they are willing to put in the work. But we've got an example of 12, 13 people here, another 6 or 7 in Tallahassee, 1 or 2 in Puerto Rico, 1 in Indiana that says otherwise. So I applaud you for that. If you're at the district manager candidate meeting in August, you guys saw this. Harvard Business Review talked about better performance and job satisfaction. There were 3 factors of creating great job satisfaction. And I want you to think about this, not that this is a DMC recruiting meeting, but as you're here, I think it's really important to think about 3 things. Autonomy, what's that mean? What's autonomy? Yeah, the ability to do your own thing and be independent. Okay? When you have autonomy, think about a job or work, a career, a vocation where you really, 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 really have the ability to control your schedule and you call all the shots. One of the things I love, in fact, I got a call the other day. I was speaking to a couple of region managers. I got a chance to share what we did in our division. And how someone was saying, oh, are you aspiring to be a region manager? And I said, I don't know, because I'm the highest position you get where I don't report to the man. I don't report to Jim Stitt. This is being recorded, so we'll see what happens. But I don't report to Jim Stitt, so there's no red tape. There's no, I'm still 1099. After my position, I'm an employee. Now I'll be an executive level, but I'll still be an employee. So if I want to not work this week, if I want to run prep on this day, if I want to say, I'm going to run the TLA prep at the next session on the 24th, I'm going to go to, or 23rd, I'm going to go to Gainesville. And then we're going to have a hub here in Fort Lauderdale run by our senior district. So we'll have a hub in San Juan, we'll have a hub in Tallahassee. Tallahassee will probably come over. I can still do that, When Scott says, well, I don't know, I mean, shouldn't you run it in one place? I said, well, maybe, but I'm going to run in Gainesville. I have a really funny feeling people are going to want to go to Gainesville, not just for the prep. I have a funny feeling. I have a funny feeling that Tallahassee magically will be really easy for them to hop on up, and Tampa to hop on up to Gainesville for the weekend magically. I don't know, for whatever reason. But you can do things like that. If I want to run, and I was talking to Jackson says, hey, what kind of car do you have? I said, I don't know, whatever the car of the week is. Because I rent cars, because it's cheaper. It's by about $7,000 a year annually. It's cheap, maybe 5. Annually, it's cheaper for me until I actually permanently live in one place. I have 3, I feel like 3 residents right now. I live in Delaware and I live here. And Jackson goes, I thought you lived here. Most people do. But because I can do it the way I want to. And it's really, really cool. It's really cool to say, well, as a division manager, I can run Florida United, or at that time, Florida Caribbean, from Texas, or from California, or in this case, from Wilmington, Delaware, the mega metropolis it is. That's terrible, I hate it. Okay, but it's there temporarily. The second thing is mastery and getting better. One of the things that humans, in my studies and my research, is when you're progressing, that's when humans are motivated. That's when we're motivated. When I speak to Luke, and Luke says, hey, 1 year later, I'm so much better at it. I told him PDI, PCs. You can name a third one of just planner usage. One year later, when we feel like we're getting mastered at something, I think that's a really big deal. And no group more than this group is focused on getting better and mastering. And for all the people that don't stick around, it's funny because we're going to have probably the biggest retention I've ever seen in my career of NLG, TLA, because who wants to leave this atmosphere? Who wants to leave an environment where we're forcing you, and it's the right thing, and it's the only thing, to go towards mastery? Who wants to leave an environment where they say, if it's easy, we don't want it? It's like, I'm going to leave that because I want easy. The hell? Right? Who wants to leave an environment where it's the right thing to be respectful and professional? Who wants to leave that environment? And some people do, but maybe it's not the right choice. And mastery is, I think, a really, really big part of what we do in self-improvement and getting better at the job. I can tell you, watching all of you, I haven't got a chance to work with all of you the same proximity, but just seeing people get better and better and better. I mean, really, I want to use David Delgado as an example. Last year, I think I said this to you guys walking to the car. I said, for $1 million, you couldn't pay David Delgado to ship more than 3 to 5K into his office. He wouldn't know what to do. And I can say that now, and it doesn't hurt his feelings. I couldn't give David Delgado $1 million in cash up front, no taxes taken out. I couldn't, for him to get this office to do 5K in new. And then, yeah, 1 year later, after exposure to a summer, I mean, I'm hearing, Hefe, don't worry, we'll be over 10. And magically, we're over 10. Just exactly. Oh, and the day he said we would get over it, and by the rep he said would do it. And I mean, it's mastery, and I think I gotta believe that gives you a lot of confidence. I mean, I'm really confident saying, hey, 3 years ago there were things I was talking about, and everyone kept rolling their eyes and saying, oh, this A player group, whatever. People used to knock the A player group. Not everyone wants to know how to do A player and what that means and what it does to a group. I thought last night's group was pretty epic. We had 22 people. And those 22 could have been our TLA group, the whole group, not next level. And I think it's really important to think about that. And the last thing is purpose. It goes without saying, when you can get really focused on a position, a vocation, a job, a branch opportunity, something through college in this case, where you find purpose, I mean, it gets really exciting. And for me, as you know, my purpose is really, it's a platform to impact and lead and influence young people. And that's it. And for me, growing up, it was my church community, but now I have a business community that also pays me handsomely and rewards me handsomely for being really good at impacting young people. The better I get at working with young people, the richer I get. It's really cool. The times when I'm not working on really developing people and just coasting, I make less money, I have less, I'm less gratified. So just food for thought. Hopefully it's a couple light bulbs there. So as you know, we want to stay 100% engaged. I feel like I could run next level only, and we'd have one of the best TLA sessions and cycles for the year. So looking for you to, of course, look for best practices, because that'll give you confidence. And the United Division has, I would say, a good chunk of the region's best practices for the summer. How do I know that? Because at SLC, we're talking about all of those best practices and sharing it to make our company better. I hope that you're ready and hungry for growth, and you're actively participating and taking notes. And here's my recommendation for all of you participating on the next level, how to get the most out of me. Number one, have the agenda up digitally, because as you know, we're a paperless division, okay? There's so many different reasons for that. A couple of the reasons before was because of finances, but then as you evolve, you're realizing most companies are paperless right now. What do you really need paper for? So with that, always have the agenda up, and this is what I do at DVM meetings. Pull up the agenda, and then I take notes of the talk under the talk. So if it says opening comments, I'll take notes and light bulbs and to-do lists under that section of the agenda. And it keeps me engaged, but also, why is that also better for later? What's easier? Yeah, it's easier to reference. It's online, but it's easier to go back and say, all right, well, Karina, I remember, okay, let me go back to Karina's talk on the agenda, and all my notes are there. And I would encourage you at the very end of the agenda to write an action list and a running action list. And that list is going to get so long that you're going to look at the end and go, oh my gosh, it's too many. And your job after the meeting is to condense it to what's really important and prioritize it. Because sometimes the to-do list becomes more massive, and it defeats the purpose of a to-do list. It's to stay engaged. And then, of course, personal clarity. And like any meeting, there's 10, 80, 10. I told Luke this morning, I said, when your division gets double and triple the size, the 10% of problem reporters and issues and, hey, Jeff, can I talk to you before the preps, also triples. Because I remember I was looking at my cell phone, and just so you know, from a DVM standpoint, when you guys run districts and branches, you're always going to have people that right before the event want to call you and text you and say, what, hey, Tyler, some bad news. You know that SLG, Mr. Gimbal, well, and fill in the blank. Okay? Something came up, and attendance issues, or I'm having commitment issues, and that's always going to happen, and you'll learn how to tune that out. That's really important. But with triple the size of the division, that 10% of last year maybe was 5 to 7, now it becomes 21. And it's about how many of those I got, about 15, 10 to 15. That's all first years being first years, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean by that. First years doing first year things, like tell me the day of, or trying to call me, trying to explain why they're late, or I mean, first years being first year, and they'll learn. We hope. So, getting personal clarity so you can make better decisions. Better decisions meaning you can say no. So hopefully a couple light bulbs for you. Let's start off quickly with what's hot, what do you appreciate? We'll go around. We'll start over here with Soleil. go to this table. We'll go to Tally. We'll go to Indiana. We'll go to Puerto Rico. And then we'll end over here on the west side of the room. What's Howard appreciate?
That we're all up in here and ready to go.
We are all up in here. Up in here.
Up in here. And what I appreciate is all the guys now.
It's hot. Labor Day is exactly what it sounds like. What do I appreciate?
In more ways than one, my sister had a baby.
Wow.
That's labor. Different labor.
What I appreciate everyone being here.
Good. Thanks. Karina, thanks for joining.
It's hot. First chili cook today.